Okay. All right, Mary. We'll just kind of, like I said, we only have about 15-20 more minutes, so okay. And then after that, I'll meet with mom and dad and go over a few things, but you'll be able to be free to go about your day. So, all right. So we kind of left off talking about some fun things you like to do, recreation. What do you do for your, your free time? Some possibilities in the future and things. So now we're going to kind of transition a little bit and just talk a little bit about how you feel about the system and in general, and how you deal with anger and just kind of some other things. And so I just want to kind of just forewarn you that some of these things, some of these questions might be difficult. And if at any time you don't feel comfortable talking about it, just maybe say pass or something, and that's okay. Again, I mean, we just met, so I don't expect you to be 100% comfortable telling me this. But again, just know the intent is because we really want to get to know you as a person, so we can do what's best for you and help you throughout this time on probation. Okay. So how do you think, in general, how do you feel kind of about yourself? How do you feel about Mary? How would you describe yourself, and how do you feel about yourself?
I get angry a lot.
Okay.
I don't know. I get angry about a lot of things just because I guess I have a quick temper.
Okay. So you get pretty angry pretty quickly. So what are, kind of looking back at some examples maybe, or just thinking, what are some main things that really get your goat, that really tick you off?
Well, my mom, when she digs at me for anything, so it's just, that frustrates me. And then if she sends me to my room, that makes me even more mad. And I don't know, stuff like that.
Yeah. So pretty much mom, when she digs at you, is there a time in particular that you remember that digging at you, more specific maybe of what that means? Or
well, I used to have my septum pierced, and she didn't like that, so she called me a name, and I don't know,
she did.
That wasn't cool.
So do you remember, what did she call you?
She called me a whore.
Oh wow.
So that wasn't cool, but
that would have to have been pretty hard to hear. So maybe you were kind of hurt by that, but then it came out as anger.
Yeah.
Towards mom. Okay. Did you ever hit her or anything though, mom or dad? Have you ever?
I mean, not hit. I hit her on the shoulder kind of, but it wasn't a full out hit.
Okay. So you don't usually use physical aggression when you get upset?
Mainly just yell.
Mainly yell. Would you say you yell a lot, or sometimes?
Yeah, a lot.
A lot? How would you like for those things to be better? How would you like to deal with some of those issues in a better way? Or are you okay with how you deal with them?
We could talk it out better.
Okay.
Instead of yelling so much.
So you're not real happy with yelling with mom a lot. You wish things were better with you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you think mom feels about that?
I don't know. I don't think she would probably want to yell as much either. So
Okay.
maybe one day we can get better.
Yeah. So you feel like that relationship is pretty important to mom too, and she would probably want to be able to talk it out better. How do you feel afterwards? Like if you say something out in anger, or later on when you're back in your room sitting and thinking about things, how does that make you feel when you?
It takes me a while to get over it. I mean, I don't hold grudges, but
okay.
It takes me a little bit to get over it. If anything, I'll be mad until the next day, but
okay,
I'll get over it eventually.
Eventually you get over it. Okay. And what about, I know you mentioned earlier that there was a little bit of a argument at school. It didn't really turn into a physical fight, but you were kind of using some maybe intimidation, just getting up, because you're trying to be loyal to your friend, and so you
kind of got in her face. And I didn't hit her or anything, but.
Is that normal where you use kind of more of a threatening manner with other people at school?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. And how do other kids react to that when you get upset and in their face?
I mean, they kind of back down, but
okay. Where do you think you learned that from, that approach?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I mean, maybe my parents fighting, but I don't know, not really.
Did that ever get physical? I don't know if we talked about that really in depth. Did they ever
Not really.
push and shove, more just yelling, arguing? Okay. So it sounds like you have a temper, and you admit that, so that can be hard to admit, so appreciate that. Do you think you're easily frustrated, or are you pretty easygoing? I know you mentioned earlier that you would describe yourself, or friends would maybe describe you as kind of chill and that, especially when you're smoking weed, but other than that, when you're just kind of normal situations, do you typically pretty easygoing, or do you get frustrated easier?
I get frustrated kind of
Okay.
a lot.
What are the main things that frustrate you,
Well,
just in general?
I mean, like, I don't know, like at school, if I can't get a math problem or if I can't get a question, then it frustrates me. And I mean, I can't focus, so that's frustrating too. So
Okay. So you're pretty hard on yourself, and you get frustrated with yourself easily
yeah.
if you don't get something. Okay. And then would you say you give up?
Well, I'll ask for help, but
Okay. Well, that's good.
no, I'll keep trying.
So you persevere. You're a hard worker, and you try to get through that. What about concentrating? Again, it kind of goes back to what you talked about earlier with you do have a hard time focusing or concentrating, but there was a time period you were on some medication, and I'll kind of talk to your parents about that, what the medication was, and again, we'll get records and all that stuff for the court report, but how do you feel like right now that you're able to concentrate or have an attention span on, one particular project, or
Wait, like now?
yeah, not being on the medication, how is that?
I have more problems with focus
With focus?
than
Yeah.
I did.
Okay. Okay. And again, that's something I'll talk to the parents about too, about looking at that medication again, if that's been helpful for you in the past with your focus and concentration. Do you feel, after you get into somebody's face, or after, a fight or argument, again, do you feel bad about that eventually? I mean, you say you get over it, but do you feel kind of bad for the other person that you treated them that way, or that you said mean things maybe to them, or do you kind of feel like they deserve it?
I mean, I kind of feel bad, but at the same time, they didn't have to do some of the things that they were doing, so I was just sticking up for my friends. And
So it kind of depends on the situation. Those situations,
Yeah.
you're feeling like I'm sticking up for my friends and,
Yeah.
and that. So okay. And it doesn't sound like you've ever actually hurt somebody.
no.
So okay. So do you ever feel anxious or depressed or anything?
Yeah, I've been kind of depressed in the past.
What do you think that's from?
Oh, I don't know. Just I get kind of down sometimes.
And so you seem like you're pretty active with your friends and things, but when you're getting down, what do you usually do?
Just try to be alone or listen to music or something.
Okay. You isolate yourself a little bit more when you're feeling
Yeah.
kind of depressed. Okay. Have you ever thought about hurting yourself?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
Do you mind telling me a little bit more about that?
Well, I used to cut, and I have thought about suicide, and
You have.
yeah, I've tried a couple times, mainly with like medicine and stuff, but I just got sick.
Okay. So when's the last time this happened?
Probably around my charge, and then I don't know, within the last month.
Within the last month, you've actually
Thought
harmed
about
yourself
it.
or thought about
Yeah,
it?
Tried.
Okay. So like a month ago when that happened, tell me a little more about that. So you've been home, you've been grounded for a couple months after this charge, and what, you mentioned pills, is that what you did that time?
Yeah, I just kind of took a whole bottle and then
Okay.
drank with it, so.
Okay. So how did you, that could have been pretty dangerous. Obviously it didn't have that effect. So what, did anybody walk in while you're doing this? Did you tell anybody?
Well, my mom knew about it and
Your mom did?
she took me to the doctor and,
Okay.
but,
What happened at the doctor's then?
they said nothing was really wrong.
So they didn't admit you or anything then at that time? Okay. So what was going on in your, kind of in your life that made you feel like you just didn't really have that will to live anymore during that time?
I don't know, I just don't like fighting with my mom and just, I don't know.
Okay. So kind of going back and hearing kind of the same theme,
I mean, it's not
really.
only my mom, but I don't know, I don't know. Just kind of feeling down, I
Okay.
guess.
Okay. So, are you seeing anybody now for counseling to talk about?
I saw one doctor.
Okay.
Well, I saw a doctor a little bit back and then more recently, but not consistently.
Okay. I think your mom filled out some of this information, this pre-fill, about the doctor's information, and we'll have you guys sign some release of information. So we'll get all that from the doctors too and everything. But, of course I am, concerned about you and want to make sure that you're safe and that you don't want to harm yourself. And so that's something, of course, that we take really seriously, and we want to make sure that you're getting the help that you need and that's the right help. And, sometimes with counselors too, we want to make sure that you're with the right counselor that you feel comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't, then we want to make sure that there's other options out there we can look at. So, are you open to kind of exploring some of those things
Yeah.
in the future? Okay. So about a month ago, so since in the last month, you have not thought about self-harming or harming yourself or ending your life or anything?
Not like, not a lot, but
Okay.
I mean, maybe a little.
Who do you feel like you can talk to about those feelings and thoughts when you're having those?
Not a lot of people. I mean, maybe I could tell my mom. Maybe I could tell my friends, but I don't know. I kind of just keep it to myself.
Okay. Well, hopefully that's something that we're, really gonna probably talk about and try to work on, and just as a family as a whole too, to make sure that you have kind of those safety plans, safety nets when you're feeling really low, before you, do anything like take pills or, drink alcohol or anything to try to deal with that you're able to hopefully find somebody that you trust that you can talk to about it. And hopefully that person, is mom or dad, and maybe not. Maybe it's, counselor, maybe it's somebody else, maybe it's me, maybe it's, whoever. But we definitely want to have you be able to talk about those feelings before it gets to that point. So,
Okay.
like I said, we do take that really serious. So, okay. What about how you make decisions? How would you say typically that you make decisions on a regular basis? If there's something, do you typically plan ahead quite a bit? Or do you kind of fly by the seat of your pants, and if your friends want to do something, you go do that with your friends, and if they change their mind, maybe it's kind of spur of the moment stuff?
Yeah, kind
What
of
would you
that.
say? More that way than planning ahead and...
Yeah.
Okay. When it's something really important, do you think do you make the decision pretty much in the split second, or do you think through it for days before you make a decision?
On some things, I'll think about it
Okay.
for more, but most of the stuff, I guess, I just kind of do.
So more kind of, sounds like for the most part, spur of the moment, kind of like to just make those decisions. And I know you said earlier it's important to you to kind of have the freedom of choice and to be able to to make your own decisions and those things too. So how do you feel like your parents embrace that? You making your own decisions?
Probably not the best,
Okay.
because some of my decisions aren't the greatest, but I don't know, some of their decisions aren't the greatest either.
Yeah. Yeah. Even though, I mean, they, you see that they haven't made some of the best choices always too, and so sometimes it's probably hard to
Yeah.
feel like they're on you about not making choices. You think at the end of the day, why do you think they do that? Why do you think they get on you for that?
Well, probably because they just care about me.
Yeah. It's hard sometimes though.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else worrying about that you're worrying about, like friends? Is there any friends or anything at school or anything else with your family that you find yourself worrying about a lot?
I don't know. Not really. I mean, yeah, not really.
Okay. All right, we're gonna kind of move into just a few more things. We kind of already talked about, how you felt